So, what if your new car is registered under your sister's name? At least you can drive her to the store and to her appointments, my mom said cheerfully, as if she was giving me good news instead of stealing from me. My dad laughed, clapping his hands like it was a joke. Accept this as a gift. It was my birthday, 26 today, and instead of candles or cake, I got humiliation wrapped in false smiles. I stood there, the car keys dangling between my mother's manicured fingers. A car I bought with my own money. A down payment I'd saved for over a year by working double shifts and skipping vacations. My sister, Lily, twirled the keys in her hand and smirked. Thanks, sis. Don't worry, I'll take good care of your car. Everyone laughed, everyone except me. That's when I felt something shift inside. The kind of calm that only comes before a storm. I smiled politely and said, "You're right, Dad. Let's consider this my gift." But it's the kind that comes with fine print. They didn't notice the tone, or maybe they didn't care. Because in their minds, I'd never fight back. But what they didn't realize was that I'd been preparing for this moment for months. Every document, every receipt, every transaction. And tonight, I'd show them what happens when the quiet one stops playing nice. That night, while they celebrated my generosity, I excused myself to the kitchen, pretending to fetch more glasses. In truth, I was checking my email, the one confirming the car's registration update I'd filed 2 days earlier. When I bought the car, I used my own savings. But knowing my parents' history with family-owned things, I'd made sure every document was under my name. Not just the purchase receipt, but the insurance, maintenance account, and payment trail. They thought I was careless. I was just patient. The next morning, I went to the driveway. The new silver sedan glistened in the sun, my car, now covered in Lily's stickers and her monogram keychain. Mom appeared at the door, coffee in hand. Don't start trouble, honey. It's just a car. Be a good sister. I looked at her calmly. Oh, I'm done being good. I'm being accurate now. Within an hour, I was at the dealership with my binder of proof, title deed, payment receipts, and the transfer authorization they'd never noticed I'd revoked. The manager blinked as he scanned the documents. So this vehicle belongs solely to you? Legally and financially, I confirmed. Then you can decide what happens next. I smiled, my reflection gleaming in the car's hood. Perfect. That evening, when they returned from their shopping spree, in my car, the driveway was empty. Lily burst inside, furious. Where's the car? I set down my tea. You mean my car? The one I just sold. Their laughter finally stopped. The silence that filled the room after my words was the kind you could almost taste, sharp, heavy, electric. Mom blinked first. You sold it? What are you talking about, Ava? That car was for the family. I met her eyes evenly. No. It was bought with my money, in my name, and registered legally under my ownership. You made that mistake when you transferred it to Lily's name without my signature. Dad's voice rose. You can't do this. You embarrassed your sister in front of her friends. Everyone knows that car was hers. I tilted my head, calm as ever. Then you should have checked the paperwork before telling the whole neighborhood lies. Lily stomped her foot like a spoiled child. You're jealous, Ava. You can't stand that I get attention. I laughed, not bitterly, but with the kind of amusement that comes from being done caring. Jealous? Lily, I paid for that car with money I earned. You couldn't even fill its tank without asking for Mom's card. Their faces went pale when they realized I wasn't bluffing. Don't worry, I said softly. The car went to a collector who paid in cash. I transferred the funds this morning. Dad's voice cracked. You'll regret this, Ava. I already did, I said, standing up. That's why I stopped letting you decide what I deserve. I walked past them, grabbed my bag, and left them staring at the empty driveway, the perfect symbol of everything I'd taken back. Because for once, they'd learned something money couldn't buy. Control over me. By nightfall, my phone was blowing up with messages, half threats, half guilt trips. Mom, you've humiliated us. What will the neighbors think? Dad, your sister's been crying for hours. You've ruined her birthday week. Lily, you're psychotic. You stole from your own family. I read every word calmly, then turned off my phone. They were finally feeling what I'd lived with for years, powerless. The next morning, my father came storming into my apartment. His tone was sharp, but his eyes desperate. "You need to fix this, Ava. Call the dealership, cancel the sale, get the car back." I looked up from my coffee.
No.
His jaw tightened. "You think you can just walk away from family obligations?" I set the cup down. "Family obligations go both ways, Dad. You taught me that loyalty means sacrifice. But every time, the only person sacrificing anything was me." He took a step closer. "You're acting like a stranger." "Maybe I am," I said quietly, "because you only loved me when I was useful." He froze. For a second, I thought I saw guilt flicker across his face. Then he said, almost pleading, "Your mother didn't mean what she said. She meant every word." I interrupted. "You all did." He didn't argue. He just left, no goodbye, no apology. That night, Lily posted online about her toxic sister who destroyed her family's peace. It got hundreds of comments. I didn't reply. I didn't defend myself. Because soon, they'd see exactly what peace looked like when it no longer included them. 3 days passed before I made my next move. Not out of anger, out of precision. I'd waited years to stop being the one they mocked, and I wanted every step to count. That morning, I arrived at my parents' house dressed in calm confidence, beige coat, folder in hand, no emotion on my face. Mom opened the door with a scowl. "Oh, look who finally decided to show up. Are you here to apologize?" "Something like that," I said evenly. "I came to return a gift." Her expression softened instantly, assuming I meant the car money. "See, I knew you'd come to your senses." I handed her the folder. "It's the lease termination notice for your garage. You know, the one registered under my name since I've been paying the property tax for the last 4 years. She froze. "What are you talking about?" I stepped inside, my voice calm but sharp. "The one you used to store all of Lily's junk. Starting next week, it'll be cleared out and renovated. I've already signed with a local artist who's renting it for double the price." Lily appeared from the hallway, wide-eyed. "You can't do that." "Oh, I can," I said, smiling faintly. "You didn't think I'd only own the car, did you?" Dad entered, already raising his voice, until he noticed the legal stamps on the folder. "Real documents. My documents. Congratulations," I said softly, walking toward the door. "You taught me business better than you think." For the first time, they didn't have anything to say. Only silence. The sound of disbelief and a little fear. The next morning, my brother-in-law, Ethan, Lily's husband, showed up at my apartment. He looked uneasy, clutching a folder like a peace offering. "Ava, I didn't agree with what they did," he began. "But your mom's really shaken. She said you're taking revenge." I smiled politely. "Revenge implies anger, Ethan. This is called correction."
He sighed.
"Look, Lily's losing her mind. That garage had her entire small business inventory in it. She says you're destroying her livelihood." "Oh, you mean the inventory she bought with the loan I co-signed 3 years ago?" I asked, raising an eyebrow. "The one she defaulted on?" He blinked. You have that paperwork?" "Of course. I've been repaying the loan myself ever since, quietly. But not anymore." Ethan sank into the chair, rubbing his forehead. "So, what happens now?" "Simple," I said, sliding a document across the table. "I'm transferring the debt back into her name. I've already cleared my portion legally. The bank has everything on record." He looked at me in disbelief. "You've been planning this, haven't you?" "Not planning," I said softly. "Preparing." When Ethan left, he muttered, "They're not going to like this." I smiled faintly. They never liked me anyway. By that evening, my phone was full of missed calls again, each one angrier than the last. Mom's message came through first. "You've gone too far, Ava. You're tearing this family apart." I stared at it for a long moment before replying.
"No, Mom.
I'm just showing you what it feels like when the one you broke finally stands." A week later, my parents insisted on a family dinner. Their attempted damage control. I knew it wasn't out of love. It was strategy. They wanted to corner me emotionally, maybe record an apology they could twist online. Still, I went.
Calm.
Dressed in white. When I entered, Lily was glaring across the table. Mom forced a tight smile. Dad cleared his throat. Ava, we've had time to think. Maybe we all said things we didn't mean. I took my seat slowly. You mean when you called me selfish for buying my own car? Or when you used my savings for your golden child's spa weekends? Lily slammed her fork down. You're ruining this family. No, Lily, I said gently. I'm saving myself from it. Dad's voice hardened. So what now? You're just going to walk away? Not exactly, I said, pulling out a small stack of papers. I already did. I placed the envelope on the table. Inside were copies of property deeds, the small beach apartment, the rental garage, and the family's joint account closure notice. Dad's face drained of color as he read. You moved everything? I separated what was mine, I said softly. Legally and cleanly. You taught me contracts matter more than promises. Mom's lips trembled. So, this is how you treat your parents? This is how I protect myself from them, I replied. Lily stood up, shaking with anger. You'll regret this, Ava. I looked up, steady and calm. Maybe. But tonight, for the first time, I'm sitting at this table with peace, not permission. The room fell silent. Even their pride had nothing left to say. The next morning, I drove back to the dealership, not for another confrontation, but for closure. My new car waited outside, sleek black, paint catching the morning light. It wasn't luxury that mattered anymore. It was ownership. It was mine. As I turned the key, I received a text from an unknown number. It was Dad. We didn't raise you to be so cold. I took a deep breath and typed back slowly. You raised me to be silent. Cold is what happens when silence freezes. For the first time, he didn't reply. A few weeks later, I got a call from the dealership manager. Miss Ava? You'll never guess who came in today. Your sister, trying to repurchase your old car. I smiled faintly. Did she bring proof of ownership? She tried, he said with a laugh. We told her the buyer donated it to a women's shelter program. It's already being used for emergency transport. I thanked him quietly, ending the call with a calm I hadn't felt in years. That evening, I walked to my window. The city glowed with quiet beauty, the kind that doesn't need approval to shine. For once, I wasn't angry. I wasn't broken. I was free. Because revenge wasn't the sale of a car. It was the moment they realized the person they treated like nothing had already built everything. I turned off my phone, locked my door, and whispered to myself, finally, peace.